Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has met with leaders of the two main political parties in the country, the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party, at the Aso Rock Villa in Abuja. In the APC delegation are the chairman of the party, John Oyegun, and former Senate President Ken Amani. The PDP delegation was led by a chairman of the caretaker committee, Ahmed McAfee. The president, via his Twitter handle, described the meeting as a sign of unity and a demonstration of the maturity of Nigeria's democracy. He later spoke about the meeting after it ended. He also met with the 36 governors today.
This visit signifies the unity of Nigeria. It is not a party occasion. It is not a political gathering. It is a symbol of our national unity. It is also an expression of the maturity of our democracy. Multi-party democracy is a very tried and tested form of government. Opposition does not mean hostility, enmity, or antagonism. Democracy needs opposition, one which is vibrant but responsible. I am very pleased to see assembled here all shades of opinions in Nigeria. Please convey to our countrymen and women in your respective states my deep gratitude to all those who prayed for my recovery.
The Tanzanian government has threatened to repatriate Burundians, refugees, within 7 days if the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, does not do so. The ultimatum was given while the Minister for Internal Affairs, Mwigulu Nchemba, was on an official visit to Nduta refugee camp in Kigoma, western Tanzania. Mr. Nchemba accused the UNHCR of delaying the return of the refugees, despite the fact that over 8,000 of them from the Nduta camp are reported to have registered themselves as willing to return to Burundi. The UNHCR estimates that there are 240,000 Burundians in Tanzania who have fled the political turmoil. While the UN representative for Guinea-Bissau, Ibrahim Toure, says that the essential conditions exist to implement the Conakry Agreement and resolve the country's crisis. Briefing the Security Council today, Toure said tensions in Guinea-Bissau had reached a peak 3 months ago, but recently the tone of media coverage in the country had quietened down, and dialogue aimed at resolving the political impasse within the framework of the Conakry Agreement has resumed between the parties to the crisis. He stressed that the Conakry Agreement remained the main framework for resolving the crisis and helping Guinea-Bissau tackle the structural causes of political instability since its independence. Toure said the resolution of the crisis in Guinea-Bissau requires continued engagement and support by the international community. He called on the Security Council and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to jointly exhort the President of the Republic to abide by his commitment to the implementation of the Conakry Agreement within the time frame provided by ECOWAS. Toure also called on the Security Council to consider ways to financially support the continued presence of the ECOWAS mission in Guinea-Bissau through the implementation of the Conakry Agreement and the completion of the next electoral cycle.
I call upon the ECOWAS Authority of Head of States and Government and the Security Council to jointly exhort the President of the Republic to abide by this commitment to implement the Conakry Agreement within the time frame provided by ECOWAS. Exhort the leadership of PAIGC and the remaining members of a group of 15 parliamentarians expelled from PAIGC to complete their effective reintegration into the party. Encourage the leadership of PAIGC and the leadership of the Party for Social Renewal, PRS, as well as the 3 other parties represented in Parliament, the resolution of the crisis in Guinea-Bissau within the framework of the Conakry Agreement requires our continued engagement and support. As I brief you today, I believe that essential conditions exist for the implementation of this agreement.
Well, 3 of the 12 Cameroonian detainees who are on hunger strike to protest against their jail conditions are now very sick. The relatives of the men are all Anglophones from the northwest and southwest regions of the country. They've been protesting the alleged second-class status of English speakers in Cameroon. The first exposed their plight in a video secretly filmed in a dark bunker-like cell where they said they had been held for months. Their relatives say that as a result of the video, they were severely beaten and need urgent help. Police officers in Baidoa, Somalia are being trained by UN mission in Somalia on how to handle cases of sexual and gender-based violence. 54 officers are in attendance at the workshop. Their training dwelt on human rights and protection of civil liberties among vulnerable populations. Somalia has been without an effective central government since the overthrow of dictator Mohamed Zayed Barre in 1991. Rape, child marriage and domestic abuse often go unpunished. This situation has been fueled by a culture of violence and weakened institutions meant to uphold the law. Women's health in the country is also seriously compromised by the practice of female genital mutilation.
Police has a duty to promote and protect human rights. But when it comes to issues of women, we feel that they have a duty to protect the women, regardless of where they are, whether they are IDPs, whether they're in their homes, whether it's place of work. And so we are trying to train them and build their capacity, which is part and parcel of our mandate.
Still to come on Network Africa. The Nigerian Communications Commission vows to fight substandard technological devices and cloning. Do join us again.